You are listening to Charting Cryptos, Commodities, and Currencies. Let's jump first into cryptocurrency 24-hour a day. Bitcoin right now showing up 2.01% for the day. And of course, we see this blast off week reaching a high of highs at 93,483. Last week, the high was 81,000. The week before, 73,000. Just bammo. You can see where things, again, you had 2 weeks of some up movement back in mid to later in September, then at the end of September, green spinning top, then popping over with a red spinning top, almost a red doji. Not volume anywhere in here, low volume. And then starting on the 14th of October, we saw some green volume heating up the next week to average. Then the week after, above average. And again, the high that week beginning the 14th, 69, still at 69 the next week. The week following the 28th of October, 73, reaching the prior high all the way back in March of this year. And then we saw the blast off starting. We actually, you can go back and you can see what happened. That's okay. Let's go. Yeah, here we go. We'll go to the 6th. On the 2-day chart, you can see where after the Trump election, boom, things started moving. Then we had the Friday on the 8th, the Sunday on the 10th. And of course, this is the 2-day chart, 24-hour a day, 2-day chart. And Tuesday on the 12th, as Bitcoin just continued to muscle up on this weekly chart, you can see where the volume just kept increasing. And Bitcoin, how high will it go? Who knows, but it has been blasting over these last few weeks. Trump election definitely helped Bitcoin. You listen to the Bitcoiners, they'll tell you how positive Trump has been on Bitcoin, and it looks like his win pushed that even further. What's up with Ethereum? Well, it's down for the day, 2%. But Ethereum, like with Bitcoin, after the Trump election win, we saw things really boost up on that 2-day chart with the volume. We also had a decent week that week, but we did have a lot of down move there as well as up move. You even see that on the 2-day, a wick on the bottom. Then, of course, on the 2-day chart for the 8th, Friday the 8th and Saturday the 9th, you saw things blasting off. Then you saw on the Sunday, Monday, and then, of course, this Tuesday, Wednesday, going up to a little bit of a higher high. But again, pulling back some also starting on Tuesday. Saw a little bit in the morning on Wednesday popping up and then rolling back over. But again, nonetheless, Ethereum has been on fire too. We look at Bitwise. Now, what's interesting with Bitwise is you saw the volume jack up all the way back to the 14th of October. And it has just been going gangbusters. That week before, we started seeing green back in September. And of course, the high somewhere around $30.57. Now the topper, $51.47 throughout the course of this week. Did pull back big time in the afternoon on Wednesday, 4.90%. But those last 3 2-day candles just blasting off. That was, and again, this is not a 24-hour a day chart. This is the ETF. Bitwise is the top 10 cryptocurrencies weighted as per market share. So, of course, Bitcoin being the big dog there. The 2-day candle we're referring to is the Wednesday 6-7, the Friday 8, what would have that been, 11, and then the Tuesday, Wednesday 12th, 13th of November. So again, blasting up, pulling back strong though in the afternoon on Wednesday. Let's now move on to commodities. Look at what's happening. We saw, sugar really pound up there, ending though right there that first week in October. Actually, I guess that'd be, the first full week in October, but the 7th, the week starting 7th October. Then the next week going down, sliding sideways for a couple of weeks, last week and the week before, then hammering down this week. So again, commodities as far as sugar really taking it. Now, corn, after 2 weeks of down movement, week beginning the 14th and the 21st of October, then a dead week, the 28th, and then we saw corn, 2 green candles last week and this week. Now, this week, we can see down for the day 0.66%. Things popped up on Friday afternoon, but starting this week, some pullback and sitting right there on that weekly trend line. So keep an eye on corn. It may be going into the negative to match what we see happening with sugarcane. Now, what's interesting about copper, of course, we've been talking about silver, but copper, not as bright a metal as silver and surely not as bright as gold, but it hit its high back in September. There, the 23rd and then the 30th, both those weeks beginning 23rd of September and 30. Then we saw a green spinning top beginning of October, and then silver has just been trudging down, and this week, a big down week. This latest 2-day candle, Tuesday, Wednesday, a big down candle. We can see where the move started down on Friday morning and is just hammered down in copper. We called this thing on silver for you. We talked about silver peaking. Then we had this green spinning top last week, week before last. Then last week, we had things rotating over, going down hard. And as we saw what silver was doing, of course, gold gave us the best chart. But silver, nonetheless, has continued to just hammer down. We can see it on the 2-day candles. We can see it on the weekly. Again, the volume, not up to average volume last week. This week, we may see it get up to average volume. But again, didn't pull the trigger on that silver trade, but it helped us feel good about the rotation over in gold too. So we did short gold in a practice trade. Now, what do we see with liquid natural gas after 5 weeks of down movements and above average volume? The last 3 weeks. This week, we're already up to average volume with a green up candle. Now, as we look at it, we don't have any little wick on the bottom there, but we do have it breaking free. I took a look at what was up with gasoline, not much. What's up with oil overall, not much. That didn't help us at all when checking out what was going on with this part of energy, and that is nat gas. So nat gas may be rolling back over, heading up as, of course, we move into winter. And check out, lastly, look at wheat. Wheat peaked that week beginning the 30th of September with super high volume, and then sort of started slowly devolving the next week, the 7th of October. And since then, hammering down, and this has been a big down hammer week in wheat. So maybe all of these food commodities we will see going down for a while. Lastly, we'll go to world currencies. Let's look at the pound. We've talked about this after a big up week back on the 23rd of September. Had a big doji with lots of crazy price back and forth with crazy high volume that week, the 30th of September. And since then, the pound has been pounding down. What about the euro? Woo! Look at the huge down candle this week. Euro topped out also back on the 23rd of September. Then we had a red spinning top with lots of volume going down since then and really pounding down this week. So the euro, look at that. I mean, literally, what is the low there? The low on the euro this week is $97.47. Wow. And the yen, Japanese have been successful after, of course, the yen trade started to stutter and the yen started to shoot up like crazy. The Japanese over the last few weeks have been successful in devaluing their currency, I guess to help with their exports, and the yen just continues to go down. That is where we are, folks, with charting cryptos, commodities, and currencies. We always love to hear from you. We like to take this divergence every week just to get over to something a little different than what we talk about, and some interesting stuff between talking about cryptocurrencies and then jumping into some commodities, and then jumping into some world currencies. It's always fascinating. We always love to hear from you. Thanks so much. God bless, my friends. All the best from the whole team at Charting Wealth.